Did you think charging $1,000 per edit was gonna be easy? I did. I started out charging $150 per edit and got fired by a client, and eventually I landed $1,000, $2,000, and even $3,000 edits from multi-million subscriber creators. But it was a grind, and I really wish I'd known how to do it smarter. So, to make landing your first $1,000 client 10 times easier for you, even if you don't feel ready yet, here's 7 things I wish I'd known about charging 4 figures per edit that would have saved me tons of time. And the first one's gonna annoy you because it has almost nothing to do with how good your edits look. Quick thing, I made a free 12 viral editing secrets guide, but it's not effects. It's the exact little decisions I use to make viewers lean in and make clients feel like the video is handled. The link's in the description. All right, number 1. Now, I learned this the hard way because I used to think that better looking edits meant you get paid more for them. But then I realized that clients don't pay for the edit. They actually pay for the relief. And I know this because one time I had a client pay me almost $2,000 for an edit that honestly wasn't even my best work. I did like one animation and a freaking 20-minute video, and the sound design was mid at best. Because I was editing with a fever, so yes, my standards were fighting for their life, but here's what I did do. I delivered the video on time. I shot and killed 2 voiceovers that were basically repeating what the video already said, and I told the client, these voiceovers are killing the impact. Get them out of here. I recut the story so the whole video hit harder, and I even turned the edit into a short without him asking. Now, he ended up loving the video, and he paid extra. But here's the part that matters most. He didn't say, bro, this edit is insane. He said, wow, thanks for handling this and noticing all that stuff. You get paid for removing the client's mental load. They're not looking for a partner where they have to breathe down their neck every time just to get the freaking work done. They just want it handled. But the real question is, how does the client feel when they receive your video? Do they tense up like, all right, what am I gonna have to fix this time? Or do they feel relief? Like, okay, wait a second. There's nothing wrong here. It's perfect. Because when every upload makes the creator feel more confident, when it feels like they're catching up to you and not the other way around, that's when you naturally become a $1,000 editor. And the fastest way to create that relief is by being predictable. I get a lot of emails from editors saying, I'm not good enough to charge $1,000 for an edit. I'm just not. Look, $1,000 editors aren't always better. They're just easier to trust. Here's what I mean. Early on, I used to delay exports all the time. Not because the video sucked, but because I was chasing these little micro tweaks for hours trying to make it perfect. In my head, I thought, just one more thing, just one more change, and then it'll be perfect. Until I realized nobody really cared, because there's a category of details that only editors care about, and the truth is, your clients won't notice. Meanwhile, the creator's sitting there thinking, so are we uploading tomorrow, or am I just about to be up until 11 p.m. again? And now the client's worried about sponsor deadlines, review time, thumbnails. Your delay has just become their stress. But I didn't realize how bad it was until a client hit me with this. Bro, I love your work, but every video I'm panicking. I'm up late. I'm frantic we won't hit the upload date. It's every single time, man. And that's when I realized the problem wasn't my editing. It was my process. Because he wasn't hiring me for these fancy little edits. He was hiring me so he could stop thinking about the upload. And that's how expensive clients think. To them, momentum matters more than perfection. So I changed one thing. I stopped aiming for perfect, and I started shipping edits at around 90% perfect every single time. But I'll be honest, I had to build a system for it. So I told him, I got ADHD. If you tell me the edit's due on Friday, I will somehow be working on this edit at Friday night at 11:59 p.m. I need you to lie to me about the deadline. Now it sounds dumb, and it is, but it worked immediately. He started giving me earlier dates. I would deliver the edit thinking he's gonna be mad, oh, he's gonna be pissed. And he'd send me a text saying, edit was awesome. Thanks, man. Then he'd post it like a week later. And suddenly I noticed I was getting fewer revisions, no late night panic, no constant check-ins. His anxiety went down and his trust went up. I literally went from being the bottleneck to being the safety net. Perfection feels satisfying to you, but sending the edits on time lets the client post, sell, and grow. So clients pay more for the editor who protects that. Which brings us to the next problem. You think the market is oversaturated, but what's really happening is you blend in. And the second you accept that, your brain grabs the safest excuse. A lot of editors are gonna hear this and think, that's easier for him to say. He already has the clients. I don't. Like it's gosh darn genetics or something. Like LeBron exists, so why even bother playing basketball? And I'm not LeBron in this story. I'm talking about the mindset. But here's the flaw. The NBA isn't hard because LeBron exists. It's hard because 90% of the players are fighting for the same role. If you're trying to compete with everybody, you end up looking like everybody. Just another editor in the inbox. But I didn't fully realize it until I got this email, and it made me laugh because it was so cryptic. This guy goes, I know what you're doing, and it's very smart. So I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, you basically only work in one niche, and you're the go-to guy for it, like a specialist. And he was right. And just so we're clear, being a specialist doesn't mean you can't edit other stuff. It just means you're positioned as the obvious choice for one thing. But the second I committed to the fitness niche, everything flipped. I went from struggling to get noticed to having people offer me $2,000 to $3,000 per video. And here's the weird part. Sometimes they already had someone pre-cut the video, which made me realize something. They weren't hiring me for more cuts. They were hiring me for my judgment. Then referrals started stacking up to the point where I stopped doing outreach altogether. And I even had creators reaching out like, can you just break down what's not working in my edits? I started charging $750 per hour for that. I know that sounds wild, but it's more than I used to make from 2 weeks of editing. And if you want me to train you into that level, that's exactly what Elite Editor Academy is for. It's for editors who already know how to edit, but still feel stuck undercharging, getting ignored by better clients, feeling replaceable. I'll show you how to make your value obvious so creators trust you. And charging $1,000 an edit feels normal. Anyways, I'm not telling you that to flex. I'm telling you because it proves the point. Specialization buys you authority. When you commit to one lane, you stop being an editor, you become the editor who actually understands that audience. And that's when the dynamic flips. You start getting inbound DMs instead of double texting clients. Creators stop treating you like the cheap editor option, and you get paid for your taste, not your keyframes. That's how you stop feeling replaceable in an oversaturated market. And once you're the obvious choice in a lane, charging $1,000 stops feeling insane. Ooh, bars. In fact, here's the weird part. It only feels crazy until someone actually pays it. I remember my first $1,000 payment. I was nervous. I was scared to negotiate. I used super soft language so I didn't sound pushy. I over-explained my value because I didn't fully believe in myself. Then someone paid it. And after that, I stopped apologizing. I stopped giving off that nervous energy that keeps editors underpaid. And the second $1,000 client came way faster. Not because I suddenly got 10 times better overnight. It was because I stopped acting like an insecure editor. Here's what you have to realize. Once you cross a new threshold, it gets really hard to go backwards. Really hard. At first, asking for $1,000 feels like, if they say no, I'm gonna die. But after you get paid once, it becomes, if they say no, they probably were not a good fit long-term anyway. those clients are not long-term. That's the client you're gonna have to replace in 3 months because they're anxious about money and constantly second-guessing everything. And if you're trying to build stability on one client or a small group of retainers, you cannot build that on clients who don't value what you do. So how do you avoid those clients? It starts with how you handle revisions. Now, I get pissed about revisions sometimes too. I get it. You pour your heart and soul into an edit, you want it to look exactly how you envisioned it, and then the client needs a bunch of changes and you're like, bro, come on, just stop. I used to see notes as proof I messed up or proof I wasn't good enough. And the worst part was getting corrected by a non-editor. But I noticed the same patterns, the same changes over and over. And I realized clients aren't randomly moving clips around. They're doing it for a reason. So I started asking one question every time. Why? Not what do you need changed? I already have that. I mean, why do you want it changed? Because once you understand the client's motivation, you can predict their feedback before they even give it. They'll say something like, why'd you cut that joke? And then you'll say, oh, you like that kind of humor. I'll put it back. Even if I don't find it super funny and it's only kind of funny, it's not only about my taste. What matters is what their audience needs to feel. So if it doesn't ruin the pacing, why fight it? Now, after about 10 edits went by, I started building the client brain. I'd submit an edit and I already knew what they were gonna say. And I'm not gonna lie, it felt like a cheat code. But then something crazy started happening. Sometimes I'd submit an edit and there wouldn't be a single change. Other times, the only notes were the best kind. Stuff I never would have thought of, not because I'm stupid, but because they have context and life experience that I don't. So those notes are actually gold, not an insult. And if you learn how your client thinks, you become the algorithm for them. You know what they want before they can even articulate it. Now let's talk about how to charge $1,000 without working more hours. This lesson took me forever to learn. For a long time, I'd start with graphics first because it's the most satisfying part, right? I'd spend 2 to 3 hours on a 10-second moment, tons of layers, motion blur, all the cool stuff. And halfway through, I'd realize, yeah, it looks cool, but I've done edits that felt higher end with way less animation. So I started thinking, what if I spent less time on VFX and more time on the rough cut and fine cut? Because I realized a lot of editors rush the cut. Trim this, cut this, boom, boom, bam, done. But if you spend even an extra 1 to 2 hours on the fine cut after you've removed the obvious fluff, that's where the video becomes expensive. My rule became simple. Make the video feel addictive even with no music, no sound design, no effects. If it hits with just the dialogue and clip order, then music and effects become a multiplier instead of a crutch. So instead of wasting a whole day on effects, you add a few intentional touches that take 2 to 3 hours and the video still feels high end. Another big time saver is reusing assets. I'm not building every graphic from scratch every time. You got me messed up. That's a time trap. The worst part is, it starts to feel like every video was made by a different editor. I'm not saying to make a template for everything. I'm saying prioritize how the audience feels over what took you the most time to make. Because just remember, hard work doesn't automatically equal value. The outcome is what matters. When I switched to this structure, edits that used to take 5 to 6 days dropped to 2 to 3 days. That's how you make more money. Not by working harder, but by delivering more consistently with more time available. Now, here's what this means for you. You don't need more clients. You need better clients. A lot of editors think they need 20 clients pouring in just to feel secure. You don't. You need 2 or 3 clients that actually value you. I've worked with $200 clients who had endless revisions, constant nitpicking, and zero trust. It felt like trying to swim through the mud. And I've worked with $1,000, $2,000 clients who approved a video after 2 tiny changes that took just 5 minutes. My skill level was basically the same, but it was a different type of client. Low-paying clients are buying time. High-paying clients are buying peace of mind. Low-paying clients think, if I don't like this editor, I'll just swap him out. High-paying clients want to find their person and stick with them, because replacing a great editor at that level is an absolute nightmare. I'm telling you guys, elite editors are not competing in the same pool. I see this happen in real life all the time. I had a client pay me just to post a job in the Elite Editor Academy community. One of my students, Daniela, applied and submitted a trial. And the client replied, I see why you get so many great comments on your editing. You did a great job. I'll tell you more tomorrow. A few days went by, and Daniela ended up landing a $1,000 per edit job from that client. Now, online, you'll see people say, I make $20K a month, I make $40K a month. It starts to feel fake. So let me make it simple. Yes, you can charge $1,000 per edit, and it does not have to be a one-time thing that you just got lucky on. A lot of editors are doing it, but they're doing it by building relationships with the right clients, not collecting a million low-trust, low-budget gigs. Now, if this was helpful and you want to go deeper on becoming the kind of editor clients trust at $1,000 plus, watch this video next. I'll show you how to get your first $1,000 per edit client even if you don't feel ready yet.